What up, though, y'all? It's Chris, broadcasting from the D. I'm out here running, getting things done, and something came across my timeline. It's about that one guy, Wolfie Kahletti, Charles Smith, and I was very curious how this was going to develop because I have really had enough of these quote unquote pranksters doing any and everything under the sun and getting away with it, never suffering any real consequences, never really being held accountable. And so here was one that was being held accountable because he finally did something dumb enough to where he put other people's health at risk, and so he got in trouble for it. For those of you who don't know, I know you guys who are watching me for the most part do, but in case you weren't up to speed on this, the guy, he's a TikTok quote unquote prankster. He was making upwards of 10,000 a month from recording himself doing really stupid stuff. So he was financially incentivized to continue to behave badly because he was making good money from it. He would decide to go out and do different things that would basically make other people have a worse day than they otherwise would. I mean, he went to one restaurant and threw ice in the fryer. You guys know what happens with ice when you throw it in the hot grease. It boils over. So the people who are working there now have to stop cooking, stop working on whatever they're working on, and now clean up this mess that you came in there and made. Y'all know I'm not a fan of that. Going to somebody's place of employment and making them have to work harder than they otherwise would have to. It already sucks having to work with the public at times, and now you got some guy who just decided that he would specifically target your business and screw up your day, make your job harder that day. I don't rock with that at all. But he's been sentenced to a year in jail. I don't know if it's going to be jail or if they're going to send him to prison to serve the year. Either way, some may feel like this punishment wasn't severe enough. Maybe if this was his first offense, though, then okay. To our understanding, no one has come forward saying that they got sick or that there were any deaths behind him spraying the pesticides on the produce and the meat that he did. This was really stupid, really dangerous, and it could have been way worse than it was, but fortunately it didn't lead to anything tragic. Walmart lost like $900 worth of produce, stuff that they threw away. He may have to reimburse them for the stuff that he screwed up, as he should. And I just hope that he learns from this, and when he comes out, if he wants to continue to do prank stuff, be mindful that actions have consequences. You can't just go out here and do whatever that you want to do and not expect anything to ever happen to you behind it, you not to be held accountable. A lot of those videos that he did where he was being really obnoxious, those were viewed and basically held against him. He wasn't being prosecuted for them, but they were damning to character when they were gauging how they wanted to go about this. They were very damaging to his character. It made it seem like this is a guy that is willing to do anything for money, do anything for attention, including behave in a way that would be harmful to others, like spraying a pesticide on consumables. So, I mean, the guy's like what? 20, 27, 28, something like that. He's in his late 20s. To my understanding, he was facing up to 10 years. Now, that would have been really heavy-handed. I talked about that in a previous video. Like, man, if he goes in there in his late 20s and he comes out in his late 30s, that is just crazy over this. So, I think in this case, the punishment does fit the crime. What he did was stupid. Fortunately, no one was hurt behind this, what he did. It was ultimately, no one lost their life, no one got sick, no one was injured, because it could have been worse if that happened, and should have been worse if that happened. So he's just lucky that his dumb idea that he wanted to call a prank didn't turn out worse than it did. And he also needs to recategorize what's a prank and what's not, because going around and creating mischief for other people while they're at work, that's not a prank. You can't just do stupid stuff and then be like, oh, it's a prank. No. No, man. You grown as hell. You inching up to 30. At some point you have to be like, this is really stupid, this is really immature what I'm doing. I gotta find better stuff to do with my time. I'm not saying don't make no money. Get out there on social media and make your money. If you know how to entertain people, you have a charming and charismatic enough personality, get out there and entertain people, make your money. But to me, it's not a talent going out there doing stupid stuff and filming yourself. That's just not a talent. Anybody can do that. I can go do that right now if I want to, but I'm not, because I'm not an idiot. I'm gonna leave it there though. Hit me with a like if you like what I do. Hit me with a sub if you like what I do. And hit me in comments. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Peace.